doing?
What's up, Shimon? How you doing?
Russ, we're live with a hot mic right now, just so you know. So
okay, I need to know when it's live.
Yeah, it's going. What's going on?
I've been known to
He's
do
always
some.
live, so it's good. It matches. It matches. It matches.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Happy 50th.
Yeah,
That's it. He's getting up there.
we're celebrating. Apparently, I'm the only one up here celebrating. But hey, look.
Well, you can give me some cranberry juice. You know, I don't drink alcohol, but I'll take a nice cranberry juice or some water, something like that.
Coach, another year. Heck of a year. 2 straight Elite Eights. King of the transfer portal, it seems like.
I don't know about that.
You put it together, man. Another great year.
Yeah, we had fun. We had a really competitive group. It's so interesting. The last 2 years, we kind of hit this breaking point where last year it was getting blown out at LSU, then getting blown out at Alabama, and then all of a sudden things just kind of clicked, and we went on an incredible run last year to end the season. And then this year it was the same type thing. We started off 0-3 in conference play. 2 of those 3 were road games, which is always hard to win in the SEC on the road. And J.D. Note actually had COVID and missed one of our games on the road at Mississippi State. But for whatever, I don't know what it is, but we've had some grueling practices that led into these runs. But a lot of it, too, I think you're right. Like when we had these transfers, there's a certain point where they say, all right, I'm going to buy in.
Where it clicks. Right?
Where it clicks.
Yeah.
And it takes a little bit of extra time, I think, when you dig deep into the transfer portal and you have 3 or 4 or multiple guys from that portal.
Well, how difficult is that for you, though? I mean, you have basically last couple of years, the first month and a half, 2 months of the season is not the Arkansas that we see for the last 2 months of the season. So how hard is that process of getting these guys to buy in?
Well, I think you always want your team to be playing well towards the end of the year and not peaking early. That's number one. And so how you structure.
So it's a plan.
I'm not going to say it's a
marathon. So you drop those games early.
I'm not going to say it's a perfect plan because I never know when that thing's going to turn around. But you do structure practices and motivation techniques that probably 1 or 2 guys are paying attention, not the whole team. But you try to build up, towards the end of the year. And I think, like Shimon will know better than anybody, when you're coaching in the G League or the CBA or the USBL, you got a constant fluctuation of talent and guys coming and going. And so I really don't flinch when we have a bunch of new guys. I mean, it's part of what I grew up on. But it takes some time to gel, and I think you have to know that and have some patience as well.
Yeah. Jalen Williams.
That was about to be my question.
Yeah, Jalen Williams. Go ahead. You got it.
Mine as well.
We love him.
That guy.
Field of 68 is a huge fan.
Yeah,
huge
great last
fan.
name, I would say. Great last name.
2 different ways to protect the rim, right?
Yes.
He's the best in the country at protecting it on the floor. Unbelievable.
54 charges. And it's really interesting because
T.O., how many charges did you take in your career?
Not 54.
Your entire career, high school
I
till
think
the
I
end of
took
your.
one on Gerald Henderson on accident. I fell and I got the benefit of the doubt. That was what I got.
You got in the way and he dunked on you, and they called it the other way.
That's not what happened. No, but not only defensively, offensively, you could run offense through.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy is a really good college basketball player.
Well, it's really funny. We actually had him bring the ball up the floor probably 15 to 25 times this year where he acted as a point guard. Right. We put a few plays, a J Will play package where he was the point, but we ran him on the elbows the whole year as a passer and a ball distributor and a guy that kind of played point center for us. But we have had a postseason meeting already. Obviously, he's a guy that would have the potential to test the waters because of how well he's played. And try to get some feedback on where he is. But one of the things I did say is if you do come back, we got to stop taking all these charges because the NBA game is more verticality. And the NBA game, when you play 82 games, you cannot take charges or your body will break down. And it's a little bit of the Chuck Daly philosophy. I remember Coach Daly talking to Horace Grant about that, that, hey, we just go vertical because of the pounding your body takes. And certainly with Jalen, that's something that we really, if he came back, when he comes back potentially, we're going to want to not take so many charges, go vertical more to try to save his body and have, longevity is important for a player too. Your body is kind of your temple or your paycheck, so to speak.
Sure. No
So that's something we want to change.
That is first coach I've ever heard say that. Take less charge.
Take less charge.
Of course,
I'm
they
in.
were
I'm
begging me
in.
to take a
Ban the
I love
charge.
that.
Get
Like,
rid of the
ban it,
charge.
ban it.
We want to celebrate these athletic plays, right? We have all these great players. I want to see you go try to dunk on someone. I don't want to see someone play defense by just getting in the way.
Right.
Yep.
Well,
Is that just me?
I'm more.
Oh, you're a charge guy.
No,
You're a
do what it
charge
takes
guy.
to win the basketball game.
Have to
That's
do
to be
that.
vertical, then be vertical. If you have to take a charge now and then, take the charge. Because at the end of the day, it's about making the plays that affect the game that may not show up in the stat sheet. That's right. That's
So
how you,
true.
That's
so
how
true.
you win.
And we still want him taking charges.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. We just want to
I
know
hope,
what
I hope
we don't want
all
54
Arkansas
schmuck.
players are listening to this. Muss does not actually like charges. We got to ask you about Duke. So you guys played Duke in your last game. Didn't go the way you wanted to. What was the most impressive thing about them? Did something stand out to you on film when you watched them or scouted them that you didn't necessarily realize coming in? Like, what are your takeaways on that group?
I think they're the best team in the country. Last year, when we walked away from playing Baylor, we thought they were the best team in the country. This year, we walked away from that game. They outplayed us. I thought they were definitely the better team. They took away our strengths. So great scouting. We're a high free throw attempt team. I looked at that stat sheet at halftime, and we had 3 FTAs. I'm like, there's no way we're winning the game because that'd be like a post-up team never getting a post-up. That's who we are, driving the ball, trying to get to the line, trying to get the other team in foul trouble, which is what we did against Gonzaga with Chet. But we're a no-middle team defensively. Their guards, and I mean all 3 of them, not just their point guard, all 3 snake dribbled and just tore us apart and torched us getting to the middle. They kind of did the same thing to Texas Tech. And Texas Tech, in my opinion, the best defensive team in the country.
Agreed. Yeah.
We feel like we're a top 5 team defensively in the country. And I think what's happened is because as we talked to teams that they played earlier in the year, we were not getting reports of what we were seeing of late. A lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores, they're coming into their own right now. And I think if this was an 82-game college, I don't think anybody would touch them in games 50 through 82 if it was an NBA season because that's what happens with NBA rookies. They start figuring it out right around this time. So I'm incredibly impressed with them offensively and defensively. The zone bothered us. We cut that thing to 6. They called the timeout. They go 2-3. Offensively, they stuck Bonchero in the mid-post at 6'10". They ISO'd him. The other 4 guys on the other side of the floor. We had no answer. Game over.
Yep. So, in this era of college basketball, it feels like everybody's got to make an announcement. Are you coming back? Are you going pro? Are you entering the transfer portal? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? Your roster turns over every year. Do you know what it looks like next season? Like, who can you sit here right now and say, we have him coming back next year?
We know that freshman class.
Yeah.
We got 6 freshmen, which, I mean,
me.
6 is a lot.
Yeah.
And
For you especially. Like,
it is. It really is.
Your one and dones are 23 years old.
But but I will say this, Rob. We learned. So when we're playing Duke, you can't get. Maybe once in a while you can get a 5-star talent in the portal. Not often, trust me. Or it might be a 5-star who turned into a 3-star, his first 2 years in college. But the Moses Moody's. I mean, the guy was our leading scorer as a freshman. And we're going to rely on our guys that are coming in. We don't know we got several guys, maybe up to 3 that'll test the waters, and you get your feedback, and then you make a decision. And the good thing, having coached at the NBA level, coached in the G League, I can offer an opinion based on people in the league that are friends of mine that I can get true, honest feedback from. And then obviously the NBA advisory board is going to give their opinion as well. Right. And then we're going to work the transfer portal, which we already have and will continue to do to try to fill out our roster.
I got you one, Coach. It was unbelievable to me. You guys win in the Sweet 16, and within 5 seconds or something of the game being over, you've already tweeted out elite. And I thought it was awesome, but it also spoke to your approach towards social media. You've invigorated this Razorback fan base, and it's an emphasis for you, right? Kind of being that next thing. Oh, what's always next with Coach Muss, the Muss bus, all this stuff. It's great.
Do you have a bus, by the way?
No, we have
a bus.
We have a really cool. We just got it. A really cool golf cart It's I don't know. It's like a must-bus golf cart, but it's
the Must
going to
golf
be.
cart
It's
doesn't have the same ring as
no,
the
I
Must
know,
bus.
but it's pretty cool. It'll help with recruiting for football games.
Like a
But
little bus
when did
around
you-
the golf cart?
That's
you
what
know?
I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah, I understand what he's saying.
yeah, all right.
I don't know if I do it, but I
I'll
understand what he's
allow
saying.
it. I'll allow
Yeah,
it.
but
I'll allow
when
it.
did you decide, like, this is what I'm going to attack? Because not only does it create some fan-based dialogue, but also recruits and stuff like that. When did you decide this is what I'm going to attack?
I mean, it's so interesting because in reality, before I was on social media, known as an old school coach, known as overly disciplined, known as a guy that maybe didn't have fun but was just like an old school coach.
Right.
My dad was thought of the same way. What people don't understand in my household, my dad was so far ahead of the game promoting. He had a pregame warm-up. It's still on YouTube. Guys riding unicycles. They packed Williams Arena. When I grew up, in the trunk of our car, it was full with Golden Gopher T-shirts. Every restaurant we went in, my dad would walk in, pass out Golden Gopher T-shirts. He was a promoter beyond belief. Ashland College sold out games. Williams Arena not just sold out, but the hockey arena was sold out, and they watched it on closed circuit TV. And then my mom, her father was in the Pepsi plant business, and so he was a promoter of. So I got kind of both sides. But sometimes when I tweet stuff, I feel like, I have such great respect for the coaching profession, but I have more respect for trying to get recruits. So I'm going to keep doing whatever an 18 to 22-year-old wants.
No, I hear you.
Let's talk about those recruits, those guys that you got coming in. How good is this class going to be? How good are these players going to end up being? Are we looking at another Moses Moody coming in? Like, what are your expectations for these guys?
Yeah, so obviously, Rob, I can only talk about the guys that are signed, but incredible class. I mean, Nick Smith can score the ball. He's got great court vision.
Goodman loves him.
Yeah,
he talks about him nonstop.
I mean, he is really talented. Long arms, can defend, but probably above all else, really competitive, hates to lose, has leadership, alpha. Like his personality is an alpha, And then Jordan Walsh, I call him. He's a violent defender. Like he reaches and stabs at the ball violently. He can really attack the rim.
He's a perfect Arkansas guy.
Perfect.
Fits you guys
Really
perfect.
defend. Barry Dunning, Gatorade Player of the Year in Alabama, multi-dimensional, can kind of play the 3-4, maybe some 2. Joseph Pinion out of Arkansas, really good shooter. Darian Ford got great strength. I mean, he's like a power guard. So a really, really exciting class, and then we're waiting on one more signature. And so we're excited. We really are. And we're going to have –
What does it say about Arkansas basketball that now we're saying, like, Arkansas and Duke, top 2 classes? Should Arkansas be the number 1 recruiting class? Arkansas basketball.
Right? I mean, it's amazing. And you know what happened really is 2 years ago, we felt like in our league and across the country, the Power 5, way over recruiting the portal. And then we started seeing, like, there's a mistake. And they got this guy starting, and it's like he wasn't a very good player at a mid-major. Why is he, why is he, So it was really, really interesting how we kind of flipped the switch, and actually to recruit some of the 5-stars or 4-stars might have been easier than recruiting a guy right now that's a marginal 8th man. And I mean that. That's an amazing statement that maybe a 4-star was easier to recruit than a guy you're not sure can even be in your top 9 rotation.
Well, now we're going to get the real info.
And the real recruiter.
The real recruiter, the real info on the Arkansas basketball team. I want to know, when you see him taking his shirt off on national television, running into the stands, doing all this like, what's going through your mind as you're watching him get naked on TV?
Well, at this point,
Are you just thinking, keep your pants on, please?
No, I'm just like, at this point, I mean, he's done it so many times, it's not really shocking. But what was shocking is the game that we beat Auburn. He hadn't taken it off in years. I thought maybe he retired that act. And the crowd had rushed the floor. It was so crazy. I wasn't anywhere near him. And I'm like over in a corner, and I look up, and he had the arm sling and no shirt. That concerned me. He was bopping along. That concerned me.
Yeah, so the energy that these guys play with, I think it stems from him.
From the coach.
I think he's a pretty energetic guy. Is this like 24/7? Take me through like a day in the life in the Musselman house. Like, is this? Does he need coffee?
No,
does he need caffeine?
he doesn't need coffee. I'll just tell you, last night we did go out. We made it to bed about 2 a.m. and then at 7 o'clock he woke me up, and I'm like, do you know we went to bed at 2 a.m.? That we're on vacation. We can sleep in a little bit. But he had things to do, with my quotation marks. That's his normal.
All true.
Care to comment on that?
Yeah, the
That's his
things to
normal.
do were get on FaceTime and get in the portal. Because
Wait,
on the
if you
East
woke
Coast
up-
it was only, it was 8.
Yeah.
Got to get to work.
If you woke up next to me, would you be in the portal at 7 a.m.?
That's a good
You don't
point.
have to
I shouldn't
I'm
have.
going to go ahead and
have
say
to
let's
answer
go to the
that.
next question.
Yeah,
Anyway.
You don't have to answer that.
Yeah. What's it like being married to him in Fayetteville, right? Like I gotta imagine, like those fans. One, they're crazy. They're out of their minds. But it's crazy in the good way, right?
It is. We don't go out much. We live in a little gated neighborhood, and that's kind of like our sanctuary. We honestly, we don't go out much. He tries to go with me to Walmart. He'll be like, oh, I'm going to come to Walmart with you. I'm like, if you go to Walmart, it's going to take me 3 times as long because everyone in Walmart wants a picture.
That's a
you
smart
know?
woman.
So
Smart woman.
he goes to work, he comes home, and that's pretty much his life. But he's happy with that.
Yeah.
He likes it.
What I like about it, Mus, is you've kind of transcended the game. You've made it extremely difficult for a lot of people, especially in that SEC. You said something earlier about being able to relate to these kids and do the things that that's important to them. How important do you think it is for other coaches to try to, because sometimes you could be criticized for those things. But
Sure.
because you have older people looking at the things that you're doing as opposed to understanding this is not for you. This is for the kids that I'm recruiting. And so how important was that for you to make that decision to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do what I feel like is important that's going to help my program as opposed to what people may perceive of me.
I think, Shimon, really it's about like everything we do is to how do we win?
No question.
How do you win in recruiting? How do you win in the portal? How do you win the 40 minutes in front of you?
Right.
And certainly, like you make a conscious decision. Are you going to let cameras in your locker room at halftime?
Right.
Are you going to let cameras in for pregame speeches? And the safe thing is to shut down and
Right.
not let anybody look behind the curtain. But then how do you recruit?
Right.
And so everything we do in reality is based on our audience, which it's our boosters, it's our fans,
No
it's our
question.
former players, but most importantly, it's our recruits.
Right.
And it's the same thing once they get on campus. Like, you've got to evolve. Like, if you have a 30-minute film session, that doesn't work with today's athletes.
Right.
So what we do is, all right, we're going to have a 5-minute pre-practice. We might have in practice a 5-minute to break the monotony of practice, and then a 5-minute after. And that's how you get your 15 minutes in rather than go straight through, because that's not how we're wired right now today.
Right.
All right, last one, and then I'll let you guys get out of here so you can go enjoy your night and stay out until 2 a.m. again. Mama Hog, have you met her? Do we know?
I have not. I've seen all the videos. We love the support.
You're a big Mama Hog guy.
I mean, you have to be, right?
Yeah,
I
how
mean,
could
if
you
you're a
not?
Woo
She's
Pig Suey.
amazing.
Well, one, she's an Arkansas fan.
Yep.
Two, she hates Chef Goodman. Like, that's the perfect mix right there, right?
Does
I mean-
anyone else call him Goody, or is it that's
Just
a
her.
mama? Oh,
Just her. That's Mama Hog.
I had never heard that before, so I was wondering.
That is Mama. I don't know where that came from, but I love it. But that's like a pretty good summation of Arkansas fans right there, right?
Yeah, I
Arkansas
mean,
fandom.
the passion is unlike anything I've ever seen. And I think a lot of it is, and it's with our football team, it's with our softball team, it's with our soccer team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they love, the Razorbacks, and there's no pro sports in the state, and it goes from one tip of the state to the other tip of the state, and it's really, really cool to be a part of.
No, awesome. Well, listen, we appreciate you being here. I'm going to let you go. She looks like she's ready to go, so I don't want to get in the way. But yeah, thank you for being here.
Thanks, Rob.
Congratulations on all the success, and
Appreciate
hopefully you get that signature soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks,
take care,
Shimon.
guys.
All right. See you later.
Wes, good to see you, man. Come on up here.